Now, our custom is not to get a haircut from Passover to Shavuot. There's others that do get haircuts. They get haircuts after Lag BaOmer. Some people, they get haircuts after Rosh Chodesh, the first day of Sivan. In Chabad, we don't. It says getting haircuts during the 3 days before Shavuot was displeasing to my father. In other words, if you want to get a haircut, you can get it the day, the hours before Shavuot, the holiday of Shavuot, from the morning. Whoever, okay, if you look into there's one commentary on the Talmud. It's called Tosfot. Tosfot. This was after Rashi. Rashi was most of them were the grandchildren of Rashi, married to his daughter, or the son-in-laws of Rashi. So it says that's called the Tosfot. That's the additional. It's written in every Talmud, right? On the inside commentary, on the inside of the pages is Rashi, and on the outside of the pages, the Tosfot. It says that the holiday of Shavuot. So there's a Tosfot in the Talmud of Shabbat where that talks about the giving of the Torah, several pages. So the holiday of Shavuot is a special time in the spiritual worlds. On that day, God confounds the devil of the Jewish people, the accuser of the Jewish people. Something like to how God confuses the accuser of the Jewish people on Rosh Hashanah and also on Yom Kippur. Okay, so how does it go like this? It goes like this. God creates the world, right? And he gave the Torah in the world. So it shows that God cares about the world. Even before God gave the Torah, he also cares about the world. We saw that's why there was the flood and etc. God punished Adam, he ate from the tree. So we see that by God there is good and bad. And God does punish. He punished Cain because he killed his brother. So there is good and bad. And God judges accordingly. Well, God judges also the Jewish people accordingly. And there's good and bad. And usually, God's standards are very high. Very high. There's a lot of laws in the Torah. There's a lot of details. And God's standard. So God is very merciful and God passes over. But still, there's a limit. So the Jewish people, generally speaking, in a general way, are not really that pleasing to God. And that's the way it's been going since the Torah was given, since the Jewish people started. The Jewish people always made trouble. They made trouble. The Torah does not, does not hide the fact that the Jewish people made a lot of trouble for God all the time. They worshiped the golden calf just right after the Torah was given, exactly the opposite of what God said to do. And they made trouble for Moses. They didn't want to go into the land of Israel, etc., etc. So we see in the Torah that there were times when God even said to Moses, that's it, I'm finished with the Jews. I can't take them anymore. They can't take them. And nevertheless, Moses in this case says to God, come on, God, they're your people and don't worry, they'll do better, and etc. And God says, okay, I'll let them off. I'll let them off. But God does judge. Judges. So through the years builds up the case against the Jewish people. Said, but there are times in the year, 3 times in the year, where God says, okay, I'm wiping off the slate. Let's start again. I mean, I had big plans for the Jewish, but after all, the Jewish people are my sons. They are my servants. They're my wife. You just can't kick them out. So when does God look at it in that way? He says 3 times in the year. One is the holiday of Shavuot. God wipes the whole thing clear. Another time is when the Jews sound the shofar on Rosh Hashanah. And another time is when the Jews fast on Yom Kippur. Even if one Jew sounds the shofar, even if one Jew fasts, it's worth it for God. I see. So also the holiday of Shavuot, God wipes away all of the sins of the Jewish people, and they start anew. Okay, that's today. Let's do Shabbat. Here we go. Shabbat. Shavuot is a special time to achieve everything in improving learning Torah and fearing God, loving God, and also to strive in tshuva. What is tshuva? To return to your true Jewish identity concerning Torah study without any interference by the accusing Satan, like we said before, just like the time the shofar is sounded on Rosh Hashanah and the holy day fast of Yom Kippur, like we just finished learning. This is a day where you can be inspired and not confused by bad and inspired only by good, the holiday of Shavuot. All right, now story. 1 minute, 1 minute. There we go. What's this over here? Oh, this I don't need. Here we go. Story. 1 second. Yeah.